Clips.
Oh, righty, YouTube's another one of Kips Clips. Feedback on the audio, welcome. Hopefully it's better, but I don't know, I'm no expert, I do my best. Anywho, onwards, UK column. I used to do a B-newsment on the UK column regularly. Get ratatouille around my mouth. And touched base with it today, and I thought I would break down and show the YouTube psychosis, the UK column psychosis. Now, it took me ages to sort of see behind the curtain when it came to the UK column. For a simple reason, they use populist rhetoric. So the rhetoric they used was very popular to me, because I'd been pre-programmed by Alex Jones, David Icke, Bigfoot, to question everything. And it'd be worthwhile breaking it down and showing what I now see behind the curtain as to what they project. Let's look what's behind the curtain as to what they project. So, here in the UK, for obvious reasons, I would say, and if you want to familiarise yourself with these obvious reasons, look at the two advents of the printing press and the subsequent regulation that the national governments put on publishing print, if that makes sense. Also look at the advent of radio and TV broadcasts and the subsequent government regulation put on them. Now, these regulations come from a very simple principle, a very well-known principle. The dumbed-down masses are very easily led, and there's some horrible people out there who will lead the masses down a well-trodden path. So let's have a wee look at this. Now we have the UK government publishing ideas, publishing their ideas in an attempt to regulate the internet, and the UK columns inability to understand where the government's argument is coming from. And hey, I think it's horrible that we now need to put the clamp down on... I think it's horrible now that governments need to put the clamp down on internet. But I can see the reasons why. Example, Exhibit A, Sean Wilson, currently ongoing. He's currently in contact with Prevent. This guy's so far down the rabbit hole. Right? It's to protect young entities like that, young fragile minds. God knows what tragedy this guy's got going through his life, right? But it's to protect people like that. It's to protect people like this, believe it or not. This is what can happen to very, let's be honest, the demographic, if you go and look at the demographics of a population, a very high percentage of that population is very easily led. Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C. This is what this regulation is for, to try and protect people like this. And if you can't see the wood for the trees yet, and see how online, how propaganda is getting used online to turn people batshit crazy worldwide, then you haven't been paying attention. But let's go into the UK columns. Bullshit fucking rhetoric is to turn things upside down, to plough you and to play on your psychosis that you may be in.
Going to pursue. Now, the question is, what is an online harm? The white paper is called Online Harms. What is it?
Well, these people neglect individuals like that. Hide behind freedom of speech all you want, but since time immemorial, since the discovery of the printing press twice, the propagation of radio content, the propagation of TV content, has always followed regulation, because people who with brain cells understand that if you're broadcasting to the world, there's horrible entities out there that will broadcast messaging to turn people into right-wing windy lickers. So the UK column, no clue of entities like this. They can't see the harm that social media and the interwebs and the propagation of alt-right fucking and the use of online social medias to propagandise people. If you can't see the harm it's done to individuals' lives, they're nussies, getting tased, getting sacked, getting fucking government agencies to prevent them becoming extremists involved, right? This is why this is happening. Whether you agree or disagree, surely you can understand where it's coming from, and it's to shut down operations like the UK column, because they aren't independent journalists.
Online harm. Well, I'm going to cause one right now, because here's Theresa May.
Social media can be brilliant at connecting people across the world. But I'm deeply concerned that social media firms are still not doing enough to protect users from harmful content.
Why would they give a shit? Social media isn't there to protect people. Social media companies are there to turn a buck.
And that's not good enough. So today, we're putting a legal duty of care on these companies to keep users safe. And if they fail to do so, tough punishments will be imposed. The era of social media firms regulating themselves is over. It's time to do things differently. It's time to keep our children safe.
Now, they jump on this children safe thing and absolutely twist it. She's talking about keeping young, fragile minds safe from extremist fucking content on the YouTube, to try and stop young, fragile minds getting conditioned into fucking having sore heads because of 5G that doesn't exist yet. To stop fragile minds going down to their GP, ranting and raving like fucking a lunatic about 5G, which doesn't exist yet, hasn't been rolled out yet. She's feeling all these symptoms from the 5G that isn't there, and the fucking doctor sending out people in the white coats. This is what this regulation's for. It's to protect people, young, individual, fragile minds like this young guy, Sean Wilson UK. Go and watch his channel. Go and see how he's been brainwashed. Go and see how his life has been fucking ruined at an early age. Rather than playing with his fucking Legos, he's got fucking prevent fucking appointments and fucking Tommy Robinson rhetoric on the brain. Fuck's sake, when I was that age, I'd probably still fucking stealing fags and shit, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. To protect people's fucking artistic fucking borderline Rain Man fucking weird ass haircut fucking no chin cunts like this. I feel so sorry for his mum and sister who are threatening to kick him out because of his fucking antics, and they've got fucking nothing. The guy's brain's been turned to mush. And then Brian Harvey, fuck me, man. Whew! Guy's literally fucking having a mental breakdown, live streaming it all, and there's idiots out there that that are feeding his fucking, oh Brian, you're so great, keep doing what you're doing, running round in circles and fucking letting people laugh at your mental breakdown. Mate, you've turned into a freak show, and fucking people aren't telling you you've turned into a fucking freak show. Watch your shit back. Anyway, it's to protect people like this. But UK column can't comprehend that.
So it's all about keeping our children safe.
Now, children safe, I just explained what that for. I can clearly see what Theresa May's meaning there. Now they run down and appropriate the paedophilia route. Here's these fucking fat fucking blobs appropriating the cause of paedophilia for their own political fucking agenda. That is Machiavellian there. That is what Machiavellian fucking motherfuckers do. The ends justifies the means, even if you're using child abuse. These people are abusing child abuse for their own little political fucking agenda.
But as somebody in the chat box before we came on there said there, Patrick, this is Theresa May in full dictator mode. So let's have a look at what, because this is the question, what do they mean by online harm? In the white paper, there's no particular definition of it. They list some online harms, but they don't say what those are. So let's...
They list the online harms, but they don't say what they are. Did you get that fat bastard you said there? They list what the harms are, but they don't tell you what they are. Now let's go and read the list, which doesn't tell you what the harms are.
Let's just run through these. A harm is child sexual exploitation and abuse on.
Right, perfectly clear to me, I understand that.
Nobody can argue about that, but we might argue what the British government has done about it over the years. They say that this white paper is going to solve this problem.
Here we have two Machiavellian motherfuckers in an information war, and both using the subject of child abuse and paedophilia as a fucking horse to ride. Something like that.
Well, let's continue on the list. The next harm is terrorist content online.
That makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. Now remember, these are the harms that the government are listing, but they're not telling you what they are.
It's going to... they're concerned about content which is illegally uploaded from prisons.
That makes sense to me.
Because apparently they're unable to control the internet connections in prisons, and so prisoners are pushing content out online.
Does that mean that prisoners all have smartphones now?
Possibly.
So wouldn't that be an easy problem to fix, just by taking the smartphones away from the prisoners? Right?
Well, that might be an easy problem.
Or is that a violation of their rights?
No, it is an easy problem to fix. They're going to fix it by regulating the internet. It's not a problem.
From the government's point of view, yes, that's the solution.
Yes, okay, so let's move on. The next harm they list is the sale of opioids online, because regulation is going to stop that straight away. Cyberbullying is the next one.
And what constitutes cyberbullying?
Doxing people, far-right fucking tactics are staying within the letter of the law, but indirectly threatening you and family members which you've been a victim of, which these motherfuckers are part of the same fucking network, and they sit up there with their fat fucking... Stop stealing Brian Gerrish's lunch money, fucking Mike Robinson, you fat cunt.
This is the big question, is how arbitrary is this particular term?
Absolutely. Let's keep going. Self-harm and suicide, because regulating the internet is going to solve all the social problems that cause people to self-harm and to commit suicide. We're going to regulate the internet, and that's going to solve that overnight. Underage sharing of sexual imagery.
Now, this all makes perfect sense to me, but in these grown men who are fucking know their alphabets now to spell better than me, this doesn't make sense to them. That, or they're obfuscating and spinning tripe.
Apparently, regulating the internet's going to solve that too. But now we come to it, because here is what it's really all about.
Stopping outfits like you pretending to be independent journalists when you're political propagandists. So the same way when you get a political message, a party political broadcast on your television, it tells you who that party political broadcast is from. That's the regulation they want to bring to the internet. Makes perfect sense to me. So that these political groups pretending to be independent journalists, pretending to be truth seekers, pretending to tell you the truth, can't hide their political messaging behind the fucking bullshit label of journalism. But they can't comprehend that.
Online disinformation.
Okay, here we go.
Oh,
online
okay.
Manipulation.
Yep, like you guys.
Online abuse of public figures.
Criticism of public figures.
No, abuse. Read it. It says online abuse, not criticism. Criticism and abuse is separate. You fat fucking cunt.
Criticism of public figures.
Right.
So those are the harms, well, let's see what kind of punishments they're talking about.
Right, now I'm going to go through the rest of this quite quickly. So strap on. Here's your Alex Jones rhetoric.
Speech to the UN General Assembly. That includes anybody that's questioning the government narrative on issues such as 7/7 or 9/11 or vaccines.
Or chemtrails.
There are a whole range of different issues.
Yeah, a whole range of every single fucking windy-licking conspiracy that's been used out there to mobilise conspiracy people into right-wing of politics. Anyway, doesn't take a genius to figure how this shit out. Now let's see them using child... These are child... Now if you use the subject of child abuse to sell something in a Machiavellian way, to sell somebody a political agenda, that makes you scum.
Is a massive attack.
I was going to say, does it make you a child abuser? Not directly, but indirectly, they are using the abuse of children to mobilise people politically, which makes them, indirectly, child abusers.
On free speech, on the ability to present a narrative which is contrary to the one which is given out by government. And okay, they can dress it up.
Now let's not forget, we've had regulation of the free press for some time. I don't even know the history of the regulation of the press, I just know there has been. Go and check that out. They're only getting their little butts in a fucking... their little panties in a twist about that.
In the language of child abuse and in the language of prevention of sexualized images of young children online, but this is not the reason for it. The reason is their concern over the narrative.
If it was only about protecting the children, then what we would be reading in this white paper, Mike, would be specific to protecting children from indecent images.
So what these people are doing is exactly what they're accusing the government of doing, and I think they're accurate. The government are throwing the child abuse thing in there to allow regulation of the internet to go through a lot smoother. Same way that these motherfuckers are using child abuse as some sort of a way of discouraging regulation of the internet.
And all abuse, pornography, and all of these sort of things that most people would agree are not good content for kids to be consuming.
Most people agree,
but that's not what's in here, Mike.
No,
this is a broad based agenda in here that's very arbitrary. The potential for abuse by the state here is tremendous.
The potential for abuse of fake-ass independent journalists like that fat bastard Mike Robinson who keeps stealing Brian Gerrish's lunch money, and that monotone ranger fucking Yankee Doodle Dandy who should fuck off back to the States and fucking spread his nationalistic message in fucking Yankee Doodle Dandy land.
And it seems like a number of these things, Mike, when I'm looking down the list here, these are all things that potentially anything in opposition to government policy that could fall under the heading of, let's say, national security. Look at what they've done for the last couple of years. They've hyped up a fake, essentially what is a hoax, that Russia interfered in the US 2016 election.
It's not a hoax, you fat fuck. It's been proven in many fucking forms. Russia themselves in a Chatham House fucking interview admitted it. It's just the way the fucking game get played. We fuck with their elections, they fuck with ours, and they're calling it a hoax with a straight face. Anyway, surely you can see through these people now. Now let's bounce into some more alt-right populist rhetoric.
So what's going to be considered extreme in 2022? Do you see how the Overton window is?
Oh, the Overton window! Go and stick that into YouTube and see how many alt-right morons are fucking rhyming and repeating that. So there we have it. There's the UK column approaching the subject of the British government putting regulation into the internet. And all they can sort of say is, well, they pretend they're protecting children, but they're not. It's the government, the deep state. They can't even fucking form an argument against what the government have put forward, other than just raise questions in people. Anyway, it's weak ass bullshit propaganda. They're in there using they're using the topic of child abuse is a way of propagating discontent with the government regulating the internet. Now, again, whether you agree or disagree with the government regulating the internet, it was inevitable. And I'm not an Illuminati New World Order shill or anything. I'm just looking at history. Right, and the regulation of the printed press, the regulation of the audio press, the radio press, and the regulation of the TV and the TV press. And it was only a matter of time before it came to the internet, because the wild west of the internet has been hijacked by a bunch of alt-right fucking extreme Christian extremist ball bags who sit in fucking front of you preaching freedom of speech under a bunch of hypocritical fucking populist rhetoric bullshit. Anyway, I digress. Hopefully the audio's sorted itself out a wee bit. Remember what I do. Don't fall for this shite, man. Fat fucking Mike Adams. Fuck off back to Ireland and sort out your totty picking problem, you fucking Irish fucking troll. You fuck off back to fucking Yankee Doodle Dandyland as well, Monotone Late Ranger, and sort out fucking Sieg Heil nationalism in your own countries. See, when you do that, fucking then on the UK column, preaching British nationalism, telling you about Brexit, an Irish fat bastard and fucking a Monotone Ranger for Yankee Doodle Dandyland. You couldn't make this shit up. Telling you how to vote in Brexit. Fuck off, ball bags. I listen to fucking people for the UK, thank you very much. Anywho, remember what I do here. It's digital busking. Everything's available and accessible free of charge. I hope to do such a good job people at home will find value in what I do. Consider using your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega, mega, mega thanks to everybody that does. Thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, all the good stuff. Leave all your comments, the good, bad, ugly and indifferent. I'll read and respond to as many as I can. Alrighty, boob tubes, thanks for listening. Catchy.
Clips.